Good morning, everyone. We start our work at Ukraine Crisis Media Center. And today we have such a topic. Our Polish friends help our people in the East. And our guest are Katarzyna Korominas, International Projects Coordinator, Vice President, Polish Humanitarian Group, Artur, Niemchyk, Project Coordinator, and Yuriy Syrakovskyi, Humanitarian Worker of Caritas Kramatorsk, responsible for WASH projects.
We are representatives of the Polish humanitarian team, an organization helping people affected by the war in Ukraine over the last few years. We want to present the results of clean drinking water project carried out near the contact line on the territory under the control of military civilian administration of the Donbas. Together with the organization Halicka Warta and the Ukrainian Humanitarian Group, the Polish humanitarian team implemented the project Humanitarian Assistance for Residents of the Front Zone of the Donbas by disinfecting sources and reservoirs of potable water in the areas that remain under the control of Ukraine. Funding for the project was provided by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Poland through the Polish Aid Program. The justification for the project was detecting parasites and coliform bacteria in local household wells and pumps. We received information about the poor condition of drinking water in a lot of villages and towns of the front zone during our meetings in United Nations OCHA in Mariupol, where we had donated previously in June last year 100,000 chlorine tablets to UNICEF, 120,000 chlorine tablets to UNICEF. Information on the implemented activities. We contacted the civil-military administration of the towns, where we provided humanitarian aid earlier. Avdiivka and Volnovaha, the need to disinfect water was obvious for the authorities. We were asked to disinfect the water in places where animals are raised and where the occurrence of parasites and coliform bacteria in the water was confirmed. Local authorities chose Old Avdiivka and Granitne. In both places, meetings were organized with the farm owners in which water intakes are located. Instructions were given and chlorination means were distributed. In other locations, disinfection was carried out in cooperation with Caritas Kramatorsk and Caritas Mariupol, which were additionally supplied with chlorinating agents. People in all towns were aware of the need for chlorination of water. Before the start of the conflict, they disinfected it themselves, thanks to the means they received from local sanitary stations. As a result of the project, the disinfection of water in wells, intakes, and reservoirs was carried out in following locations. Old Avdiivka, 23 water intakes supplying 3,500 households. Before the war, 20,000 people. Now that's difficult to determine. Some residents work in the occupied Donetsk, coming back home just for weekends. Most probably there are between 7 or 10,000 people there. Granitne, 15 water intakes, 900 farms, 3,000 inhabitants. Krynica, 1,000 inhabitants. Nowoiwanivka, 350 residents. Toshivka, 4,000 inhabitants, and Zolote, 10,000 inhabitants. Disinfectant agents have been left in all locations to keep the wells and intakes in sanitary condition for a period of at least 1 year. After carrying out activities in Old Avdiivka and Granitne, where, thanks to the cooperation with the civil military administration, we distributed disinfection agents that remove organic contaminants from drinking water. We contacted Caritas Mariupol and Caritas Kramatorsk and conducted the training. We can see it on the presentation also. We also left them chemical means to ensure the proper sanitary condition in wells and pumps throughout a year. For a few years now, in most places, disinfection has not been carried out due to the lack of funding. In one place, Krynica, disinfection has been carried out by local community, and they have been using pool chemistry for this purpose. During the project implementation, the amount of chlorination agents was increased by obtaining them from ITPOL. Information of the beneficiaries covered by the project, and this is the last part. The beneficiaries of the project are about 25,000 people, inhabitants of the front zone, and 3,000 Granitne inhabitants. Granitne is a village located between the separatist and Ukrainian lines, however, administratively managed by Ukraine. The trip took place in the company of Alexander Baranik, head of the civil military administration of Volnovaha. The only difficulty was the fear of the local population before taking pictures of water intakes. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Зараз запрошуємо до слова тоді.
Зараз ми
Хто з вас?
Добрый день. Я Юрий Syrakovskyi, являюсь представителем и партнером благотворительной организации Caritas и более 10 лет занимаюсь проблемой обеспечения чистой питьевой водой населения Донецкой области. В Донецкой области существует проблема питьевой воды и водоснабжения в связи с тяжелой экономической ситуацией и боевыми действиями. В этом случае польская сторона очень нам помогает своими участиями, своей гуманитарной и разными проектами. Все люди, которые проживают в Донецкой области, нуждаются в чистой воде, и она является основой жизни. Мать, которая вынашивает дитя и пьет некачественную воду, не может родить здорового ребенка. Таким образом, ситуация острая и болезненная. Речь идет о здоровье нации и о безопасности детей. Но все это решаемо, и все это можно сделать. Есть готовые решения, проекты, которые обеспечат чистой водой и, соответственно, и здоровой, качественной жизни наших детей. А чужих детей не бывает. В данном случае проект, который польская сторона предложила, она отвечает решит многие вопросы, и в то же время, если нет водопроводной системы, если есть водопроводная система, то здесь в этом случае поможет фильтровальные установки, которые обеспечат чистой питьевой водой. В принципе, пока все, что может пан Артур сказать.
Artur Niemchyk, I was a coordinator of this project. Do you have questions? Please ask. Yes, we have first question. I would like to ask about the idea of cooperation. How long this cooperation existed? So we met with Caritas Kramatorsk in 2016. We carried out a project of distribution of food products in Avdiivka, and there were shellings, and we brought 65 tons of food products. And in 2016, we distributed 6 tons of medicines in Ukraine, also in hospital in Kramatorsk. And we continue our cooperation now. Artur and Yuri, tell us, please, have you cooperated with local civil and military corporations in order to implement this project? and whether they took this experience in order to use it after the mission leaves. We worked with the civil and military cooperation administrations in Avdiivka and Volnovakha. I can say that these are really professional people and great partners for us. Thank you. Do you plan to have one more mission, and if yes, when? It is really important to continue this project. So we would like to have filtration systems in hospitals and kindergartens, and this is a very important thing, because not only bio contamination exists, there are nitrates and there are some other contaminants, and it is important that systems of filtration be installed there. Do you have questions? Please ask. There are no questions. I have one question about the project and maybe about people, about your communication with local residents. Have you communicated with them, and what was their attitude towards your activity? This was Yupa. I think that people, I thought that they would be afraid of this water treatment, but in Avdiivka it happened so that the population of the old Avdiivka, this was a meeting with the people. Everyone knew that it is necessary to treat water, and people said that 6 or 7 years ago, sanitary station provided chemicals for treatment of water, but then they stopped doing so. The same happened in Granitna and Krynica. People knew that they had to do it. Thank you. Do you have other questions? Please ask. If there are no, thank you. Once again, we thank Polish people for this assistance, and this is the end of press conference. Thank you.